Zentians
Yo,
donated
Zentians, thank you, man. Good to see you back in the
$99.
chat. Thank you.
Forgiveness comes from the basis of contrition. What contrition is she exhibiting while hopping from chat Tyrone to Pookie? Money isn't the question, but forgiveness is earned. Otherwise, what's the point? She can be recreational use only.
Well, I think that goes back to what he was saying before. God forgives, he does. Zentians does.
Yeah, it just depends, right? If a person is still doing the same thing that they've been doing, what's the point of you dealing with the person? I'm saying somebody who's genuinely looking for forgiveness and they've changed their lives and they want a new start, and then you want to grant that to them, then that's fine. I think it's okay to forgive people. You don't have to hold it over somebody's head forever. So.
And
Yeah.
if I recall, I don't know if I addressed this previously, when it came to body count, you said that her past is her past, like you wouldn't care. But what if it was something really extreme, like 100?
Yeah, I would care. Like what I'm saying is that I never really ask, and I kind of base it on their character. Normally, chicks with body counts that's that high, they with it.
Yeah.
They with it. You could tell right away. You do a little bit of something here and there, and they ready to go. Normally, women who are a little more apprehensive, it seems like they value their sexuality a little more, so they're more likely to not have that amount of a body count. Not all, but I think it's kind of the game that I think. But
Can I say something to that?
hold on one second to the amount. It would matter. It would matter to a certain degree, right? If somehow a girl was, I don't know, just swiping through Tinder and smashing all these guys, and I knew about it, it would be less likely that I would want to be in a relationship with a woman like that.
Got it. Go ahead. Oh,
Yeah, I think it's important how a woman acts after you guys do stuff together, because sometimes,
You mean sex?
yeah, that intimate things, when those happen, if a woman sometimes, not sometimes, when a woman hasn't been with a lot of people, she'll get really attached, and it'll make her, like calling and putting in effort to that person. So what you were saying is sometimes like, oh, if the girl's like ready to go or like into the situation, sometimes that's just the mood she's in, and it's about the person themselves. I think what shows if a person is like a lower body count is how they act after. So.
That could be the case.
Oh, I kind of.
I didn't say it right.
I
So you're
think
saying,
I see, like, if a woman has a low body count and she has sex with you, like, you're saying that she might actually start developing more feelings. Like, a girl who hasn't had a lot of sexual partners, she will actually start bonding with you once she's had sex with you. Whereas, like, you can tell, like, if you have sex with a girl and she would be fine never talking to you again, that would be a pretty good indicator that she's like, this ain't the first rodeo. She's had a lot of sexual partners.
Or that could be a mental illness immediately. That could be like love addiction or a really attachment style that she has severe codependency issues, and that could be a huge red flag, because she could be having sex with a guy each day and get attached to him immediately
Or
because
he just wasn't good at it.
very
If you
Wasn't
have,
good at
she's
it?
very love
he wasn't
starved.
good at it. That's it.
No, I think if you have a lower number, then you could get attached faster, because you haven't had that many couples. That if you have a higher number, then you'd be like, oh.
And that's why you should wait and not have sex with people that you're not fully committed to, because you don't want to put a person in that position, a person with a low body count, and then you end up getting them attached to you, and you're like, I'm not really trying to be in a relationship, but you've now invoked that in that person. Mm-hmm. Young men, and people are going to hate me for saying this, I think young men need to take responsibility for these things as well. Young men are creating these hoes. I'm just being honest. Young men create these hoes too. It's not that they don't want it, but if dudes weren't willing to sleep with them, they wouldn't have a high body count. So I think that young men need to take responsibility too, be the example by saying, I'm not going to sleep with this woman. I'm going to hold off on it, even if she wants to, because I want to be in a relationship or I don't want to be in a relationship. Let me make that leadership decision so I'm not hurting her feelings. Now she's attached and now we breaking up, or now I got a baby with her. I put it on the young men to be more proactive.
But also women do have to take responsibility
They do.
because they are also, there's now higher numbers where you see women like sleeping with men all the time because they're so love starved that they are so codependent that they will start fantasizing. Even if they only slept with this man for one time, they become so attached to him, and if he starts ignoring her, she will immediately start looking for another guy to sleep with because she needs that love, and that love is not getting
But
received.
also, people with lower body counts, they're really selective.
No,
They won't
I agree.
go just the first night.
No,
or
I agree
first
with
date,
you.
Let's do it.
No, exactly.
That's why they have lower body
No,
counts.
I said higher body counts. I'm saying the higher body counts, not the lower body counts. I agree with you. Lower body counts are more selective, and that's why they're more mentally can be
Stable.
yeah, exactly. More mentally stable. can
What
be
about
mentally stable.
someone who has a low body count and they've experienced, let's just say it's 3, and the third one, they experience crazy physical attraction, but somehow it just didn't work out because the spark wasn't there. And then you wait. What if you wait to, because you became a Christian or whatever, you wait until marriage and then you get physical with your husband and it's like,
The sex is bad.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna.
so
I
how's that?
think that that's relative to how attracted you are to the person and how much you love that person.
Yeah.
A man can spruce it up. If you love that person and you enjoy spending time with them, intimacy with that person, it can become good for you, or y'all can just work on it.
Exactly.
It ain't. How much stuff can you do? You can teach a man how
but
to do
it's
a little
possible
something.
that can be a deal breaker.
I think it can, if you're a mature person, I don't think it would be a deal breaker because life is more, or relationships are deeper than just sex.
I feel like sex is very important in a
you can
relationship.
find
but
ways
it's-
to make it better.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, but I mean, so you're saying in a scenario where a woman, she's had sex before, but now moving forward, she wants to wait until marriage to have sex, correct?
She wants to hold.
Well, I mean, if that is your standard, like if you're switching that to be your standard, then obviously you weren't able to screen like sexual compatibility, you weren't able to screen out some of these things. But like if you're a godly woman, you should realize that, okay, like Brandon was saying, you're now mature, like there are things that are more important than sex. And obviously, like, really, like, sex is not this complicated procedure. Like, that's something that can be worked on. Granted, I will say that typically most women, especially women who have some degree of sexual experience, don't want to be teaching a man how to fuck them. Like, most women would find that unattractive if they have to, like, handhold a guy, here's how you please me. Most women want men to just get it.
Especially
But-
if you were turned before that.
Yeah, but you have to understand. I think it's important too to realize that the dude that turned you, he wasn't born like that, right? It wasn't like he just came out the womb and he know how to put it down. He had a lot of experience to end up getting to that point potentially. And so when you marry a person that have a lot of other incredible values, you can say, okay, I'm willing to work in that area. You're never gonna marry a person that got everything you want. It ain't happening. You can forget about it. You can marry a man that can throw it down in the bedroom, but there's other things that you may not like about this person. When you get into a relationship, you start having children, you're gonna realize that sex is not as big of a deal as you think it is. It's gonna be a lot more other things that are important in a long-lasting relationship.